Hey there, and welcome to another Wisdom Wednesday episode of the Alter Your Health podcast. I'm Dr. Benjamin Alter.
And I'm Dr. Susanna Alter.
And we are both naturopathic doctors who support individuals in optimizing their health, reversing disease, feeling great with whole food, plant-based nutrition, and of course, mind-body medicine, connecting the dots and understanding really those essential ingredients for creating health and feeling great.
Yes.
In body and mind.
Yes. And today we thought we would talk a little bit about when clarity comes, when wisdom hits, when the light bulb goes off, when insights happen, what that feels like, what that looks like, and
how to make it happen
to make it happen more.
Is it in our control?
Good question.
Well, we've all had the experience, right? There's no doubt about that. And I think it's probably very likely that we kind of just brush it off as like, oh, I just had this insight, this clarity, and it was just kind of this, whatever. And then we forget about it. And then it's like, oh, we feel lost and confused. And then it's like, oh, we got the light bulb goes off and we just go, but when we start like bringing more awareness to this emergence of clarity in all moments, then we start, in my experience, and I'm not an expert, but I'm experimenting, and it's always there. Like the clarity is always there. It's like the more I realize the clarity is always there, and it's just my thinking and state of mind and clutteredness and worries or expectation or thoughts about this or the past or the future or whatever, all of this tendency to draw my mind and consciousness in places other than the present moment, that leads me to feel the lack of clarity. Yeah. And it's just so interesting when the moments of clarity come. And I just thought I would start with one recent example for me that it's kind of totally random, but hey, random moments of clarity are cool. So I was riding my bike a few weeks ago. I was going over like a pass, and I was thinking of making like a big loop, like go up and over this mountain pass and come around. And it's called Cottonwood Pass. And I was going down the other side, and I was like, halfway down the other side. And then all of a sudden it was just like, I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to do this loop, even though I was approaching maybe like around the halfway mark of the loop, right? And I don't know, it wasn't like fear. It wasn't anything. It was just like, I slammed on my brakes, and just turned around and went back up and over. And I don't know. It was just like, I don't know.
Was that before or after the mudslide?
That was before the mudslide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So later, a couple of weeks later, there was a mudslide in that canyon that I would have been coming through.
So you wouldn't have been able to complete the loop anyway.
Yeah, but it's just like, again, these kind of common sense, mundane insights or light bulb moments go off, and it's always happening. And when we bring more awareness to it, in my experience, it's like I start trusting the support that I'm receiving from myself and like powers beyond me, right? And I feel supported, and it feels good, and I feel trusting of life, the universe, and I think it just makes more room for more of those experiences to come.
Yeah. Well, we've talked in some of our previous episodes about how innately within all of us is this access to this unlimited wisdom, this unlimited source of wisdom, the one mind, if you will. And what I really hear you saying is that, when those easy answers, those aha moments, light bulb moments are always just, just right there, one thought away, really. And
everywhere.
And, I'd like to really talk about how when we get that kind of hit of wisdom and insight, whatever you want to call it, the feeling is simplicity, right? It's like, oh, like I don't have to go back and forth. Like in that moment, you were like, no, I'm going back home.
There's no uncertainty.
Yeah, there's no uncertainty. There's no wishy-washiness. It's like, oh, I'm doing this, or bum, or bum. I don't know why that was the sound effect.
Boing.
Bing, light bulb goes off. Oh my gosh, I know the solution to this. Oh my gosh, we've all had those situations where we go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And if we just give ourselves a little bit of time, the answer makes itself really clear to us. And it's so funny because, Ben, you and I have been talking about how we bring our bikes up a lot in these conversations.
Spend a lot of time
where
on
it's
my
like,
bike.
oh, I was riding my bike and then I had this insight. I was riding my bike and then I had this insight. I can think of so many aha moments I had when I was riding my bike, right?
Well,
So
the last couple of weeks I've been spending like 20 hours on my bike. So yeah,
Yes, it's true. But yeah, so it's like, well, what's happening on the bike that makes these insights come more often?
Well, there's the pedals and the gears, the fresh air, you're breathing hard, your heart's beating.
But really, I mean, let's talk about this, because whether it's the bike for you, whether it's when you're running, whether it's when you're in a yoga class, or you're seated in meditation, or when you take a bath, everyone kind of has these things where it's like, oh yeah,
Well, I think the shower is like, a lot of people talk about the shower as a place of like insights, and like what's going on in the shower? Like, what's the secret sauce in the shower? And the secret sauce is being present, and almost like, I think in the shower, maybe I would call it like almost absent-minded. Maybe one might call it absent-minded, but it's like we're all like, I don't know. It's like we're just kind of there. We're just kind of there. We're just kind of feeling the water. We're present. But what you're getting at, I know, Suze, is I interrupted, but it's that there's nothing special about the shower curtain or the water droplets or the yoga mat or the bicycle chain or anything. It's just our presence and the clarity, the insight, the wisdom. It's always there, like a millimeter, a cell, a hair width, whatever, microscopic fraction of a something beneath the surface of our thoughts.
Yeah. It's like, we've talked about this metaphor of the clouds and the sky, and how, we can have a really clouded mind, lots of heavy clouds, lots of heavy thoughts. And it's like, the more kind of heavy thoughts we have, it obscures our connection with the sun, with that wisdom, with that innate well-being of who we are. And it's like these moments, it's like, in the shower, on the bike, on the run, whatever, it's like there's this, even if it's just for a split second, there's this parting of the clouds where wisdom just pierces through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone brought up in the chat the wisdom of children. And I think people often talk about how children, for their early years, there's like less of a veil, less of the programming, whatever you want to call it, that has a tendency to create this illusion of separation. But children are tightly connected with wisdom, intuition, and they just do whatever they do without thinking. And then it's like, oh, Billy Joe, you should be thinking better about what you're doing. And, then it's like, oh, I guess I got to think, and I guess I got to intellectualize. But we all are, regardless of our age or programming or belief system, we are all still completely 100% of the time connected with the same stuff that flows through the infant, leads them to cry and scream and laugh and smile and play and be in the moment.
Yeah.
But
I want to talk about kind of the trap of trying to have more insights or trying to have more clarity.
Maybe you came to this video thinking, all right, I'm going to take some notes and I'm going to create more clarity.
So when I remember this so clearly. When I was 18, I just started practicing yoga, and I was doing it more for the exercise and the flexibility. But I had this one experience. I went to a yoga class, and the teacher had us do all these back bends, all these heart openers. And I remember in like the last big heart opener, I had this surge, like it bubbled up from nowhere, this feeling of complete acceptance, complete forgiveness of an ex-boyfriend who broke my heart. But
complete forgiveness of yourself for the judgments that you held on.
Right, whatever. But this was an extremely whoa, healing experience for me. And I thought, wow, yoga is so magical. It can bring out these amazing, amazing feelings from within me. I got to do more yoga. I got to do more heart opening. I got to do more back bends. And it's funny because from then on out, I got more serious about yoga. I did it every day. And I noticed, now I look back at it, I noticed there was always this expectation and kind of this disappointment at the end of each class of oh, why didn't I have another huge epiphany? And and I noticed, I look back at myself in those classes, and a lot of the time I was just in the flow, in the present moment, doing the postures or whatever. There was always kind of this lingering thought of oh, I wonder if I'm going to get another insight. Oh, I wonder, heart openers. We're doing more heart openers. Maybe I'll have another. And what's the trap of kind of, going back to that, a practice or a place or whatever it was, looking for an insight, is that we automatically are having more thoughts about wanting to have more insights. And that busyness in the mind actually takes us further away from the clear mind where we have those insights.
And then in our busy mind, we might go, okay, no insights coming. All right, I'll let it go. And then it's like we come even more closely connected with presence. Maybe, in other words, we let go, we surrender, we completely arrive in the present moment rather than kind of beating around the bush of the present moment. We completely arrive in the present moment, and that's where the magic happens, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's so paradoxical. Life is just full of these paradoxes, and it's just so paradoxical how the doing and the striving and these human nature tendencies that are very much primally within us have this tendency to push us away from our divinity. So it's this perfect yin yang balance kind of thing of humanity and divinity. And the humanity is the form of our being, and the divinity is the essence that is formless, and it's all there. And our awareness of the presence and the synchronization, and I think there is this tendency to try and transcend our humanness and just be divine beings or something. I'm pretty sure that only happens when we're no longer in human form. As long as there's a human form, we will be kind of balancing and walking this, this path of balance. I don't know. I can't put any more words to it.
Yes, but I guess one other thing I'd like to bring up in right now is that so many times I find myself in the situation of confusion, or not confusion, but just indecision.
Yeah.
Of, okay, what do I do in this scenario? What's the best decision? What's the best decision now? And it's like, I can try to, we can try to kind of rationalize, okay, is this better? Is this better? We can
write our lists, the pros and the cons,
right.
and measure it out.
Work our computer more and more and more.
Measure it out, yeah.
But what I've been doing now, and I find it works a lot better, is that if I find myself in that tense state of indecision, I realize, oh my gosh, I'm in my mind about this. And I don't want to make decisions from that place. I want to make decisions from a deeper, more authentic place. And if I just give myself a little bit of time, the answer is going to come.
Just like when we're looking for our keys or our phone or our wallet or our glasses or whatever, and we're just hunting on the search, and then we're like, oh, okay, screw it. I guess I'm not going to the grocery store. I guess I'm not doing this. And then it's like, boom, there they are on our face, once we like drop out of our thinking again, it's the same process. And it always reminds me to just, say it, that really, like, I think a lot of human beings out there are talking about, the process or the practice to do more of whatever makes us feel better, whatever might have a tendency to create more clarity, whether it's a meditation or a visualization or a podcast or a book or a yoga practice or a walk in the park, and all of those things are beautifully perfect and part of the process, undoubtedly. But what is happening is simply 100% of the time is just us coming present. And there's no way to do that. And there's also nothing that we must do to be more present. It's not like someone with a meditation practice for 5 or 10 or 20 years has a stronger capacity to be more present than someone who's never sat with themselves. Everyone has the ability to be present, and we don't need to do anything. So put another way, there's no prescription for creating more clarity. But once we understand where clarity truly comes from and start the understanding of the description where clarity comes from, then it's like, oh, common sense again. So describing, not prescribing. That's what we intend to do.
Yes. So
this is a good one. Any last parting words, Dr. Susanna?
No.
Yeah, me neither. So thanks for hanging with us for another Wisdom Wednesday. And just announcement, if you are interested in diving into conversations such as these, you can check out our Peace on Earth program, which is just a weekly kind of community call where we discuss these topics, these principles, mind, thought, consciousness, and kind of the connection with our physical health and well-being. You can check it out at alter.health/peace on earth. So thanks for hanging as always, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Bye for now.